843 TV, where the Lowcountry comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV at the Coastal Discovery Museum. It's always exciting to be here because there's so much to learn and so much to look at. And we've got Elizabeth here. She is Director of Exhibitions. She's going to tell us about what's happening now. But first, share a little about your role here.
So as you said, I'm the Director of Exhibitions, and basically what that really means is I'm the curator of the gallery. So, but I handle all the art, all the things that happen with arts at the museum, I'm handling. So the core piece of that is this gallery. So the changing exhibitions in this gallery, which we do around 5 a year, somewhere between 4 and 6, let's say, depending on the year and the length of the show. And then we have the small gallery next door, the Sea Island Room, and we will have some small exhibitions in there over the course of the year, and I'm really working to try to build that out. We have the permanent collection, which we shift around here and there. And then, of course, we'll be opening the Santa Elena exhibit next fall, hopefully, and in our new space out in our renovated barn. So I have a role in that because it's a big exhibition. And then we have our outdoors with sculpture. You know, we have various sculpture pieces on the property, and so those fall under me too. So. And then, of course, I also do the art market because that's our biggest show of the year, and a few, other things as they come up.
Sounds like quite an exciting role to have, and one that's always changing, as you mentioned. So let's talk about right now. We're here in the fall, and what is happening at the moment at the museum. We've got the Art Quilters exhibition.
Yes, so this show, it's called Imagine, and it's the latest show of the Art Quilters of the Lowcountry. That's a local group of 5 art quilters, so fiber artists. So everyone is, presumably familiar with traditional bed quilts, but there's also a subset of the quilting community that does art quilting, basically painting with fabric and thread. So when you look around this gallery and look at these pieces, and when you walked in today, you thought they were paintings.
I absolutely did, yes.
But they aren't. They're, it's all with fabric and thread. And it's amazing what these 5 people do. There's 4 women and one man. And so we have Peg Leschke, Ro Morrissey, Jody Wigton, Donna Stankiewicz, and Ron Hodge. And so they each have their own style. They collaborate. They're a very tight group in the sense of sharing ideas, sharing materials. Jody, in particular, like Jody's the person who finds all these weird new materials to use, and she'll share that with other people. And so you'll see some of that turning up in their work. Jody starts it and then turns up in theirs. But they all sort of, I love this show because we had them here 2 years ago, and now when they come back, I see some places where they've clearly influenced each other. It's kind of fun to see, but they all do really maintain their own look, their own style, how they like to quilt. But it is remarkable work. I mean, these pieces take them hours and hours. I mean, some of the pieces months of work, right? Yeah. So it's incredible, but they're really playing around with different things. Like Ron, for this show, so they came up with the idea, imagine, like, let's push ourselves, imagine. And so what Ron did this time was some sculptural work where he created these amazing 3D pieces that are all quilted. And you walk in, you think they're a vase.
I thought it was a vase, right. Yeah. And the photos on the wall. So until you get very close, you don't realize.
You don't realize,
amazing.
Yeah. So it's really incredible. And the people who know this group, I mean, they are here right when the show opens. They are, this show, the work is for sale because that's the artists want to sell their work. That's one of their things they want to do. So we help them with that. And a lot of work has sold, but there are still pieces available. So this show has a few more weeks. It's up till October 6th. And I do encourage people to come. I mean, I love being in the gallery when people walk through this show because the awe, it's sort of the conversations that people have as they look at things. It's really, it's fun to see.
Do you take time to interact with the guests when you have that opportunity?
I do. If I'm in, sometimes I'm in here, to make sure everything's hanging straight or that labels are, not missing, that kind of thing. And if I hear people say something, I don't like to interrupt conversations, but if they sort of have a question and I hear them talking, I'll sort of enter the conversation, and then most people do want to talk about.
Well, I know as we're talking, we're showing some of the pieces that are up there, but looking around, a lot of Lowcountry scenes, just a good variety of.
Yes, so there's always a bit of the Lowcountry, obviously, that runs through their work because they all live here, right?
Yeah.
So between here and Savannah, so in sort of Beaufort County and Savannah. So it's hard to live here and not have it affect you, right?
Absolutely, exactly.
So they definitely, that definitely is a through line. But then there's, Jody has been playing a lot with more abstract works for this show. That's the place she wants to sort of head in her work. So those are quite different. Ron has always had kind of abstraction. He also does beading. That's a signature piece of his work, which takes forever. It's hand beading. So I think you actually see each of them playing around. It's not all Lowcountry, but there is, yes, that does affect.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So stay right here. We'll be back with more 843 TV.